Okay, with the basics under our belt, we're going to make a drawing. I'm here on the main page of Procreate. I'm going in the upper right-hand corner and selecting plus. I'm going to use square for my screen size. I'm going to use 2 fingers to reduce the size of my canvas. This is very helpful when you're bringing in photos. You can move them around and place them a lot better if the canvas isn't taking up the entire screen. I'm going to go up here to the wrench on the left-hand side. I'm going to select Add, Insert a Photo. I'm going to put this puppy here. This is Cleveland, my sister's new dog. I'm going to size it, and again, I could, if I just wanted to do Cleveland's eyes, I could do that, you know. I think I want it about like this. Okay, I hit Layer to turn that off. Now I want to lock the layer that has Cleveland in it, and I'm going to do that by sliding to the left and selecting Lock. I can't count the number of times I have drawn on the photo and then messed myself up and had to redo it. I'm going to add a bunch of layers. I work from the outside in when I draw and when I build my pieces. So layers, I'm going to add maybe a dozen, and I'm going to start with the top layer there. I'm going to zoom in on this eye and pick what I feel would be the outermost color, which would be this highlight. So I'm going to, there. Now you can see my dot in the upper right-hand corner is the same color as where I was. I'm going to outline that. And then I'm going to grab the dot and bring it down and let go, and it fills it in. If I did not close that shape, say I did it like that, even if it was really close, but not quite, and I drag that color down, it's going to fill everything. 2-finger tap to undo, another 2-finger tap to undo, and another. Okay, so you have to, if you want to fill without scribbling, I mean, I could draw a circle and color it in by hand. But if you want a color drop, you have to have a closed shape. Okay, we're going to take the next layer below, and let's go with this color. I did not go in the layer below. There we go. Next layer below, go in this color, fill. Layer 10, I'm going to go to this part of it. And you notice I don't really follow the lines very closely. On this layer, I'm going to come over here and do 2 shapes. 2. And maybe one more over here. And now I'm ready to do the pupil. And if I select the black from here, from the photo, there's very, very little real black in photographs, especially when you blow them up. Oops. So I come up here to my color picker, and you see this circle? It's not all the way in the bottom. The bottom corner is totally black. The top corner is totally white. So I want to pick that black. And I'm going to draw my pupil. Fill it in. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Work on the iris here. New layer. There's a bright area. Let's make it a little bigger. Okay. And actually this doesn't touch, so I can do this one too. And another layer to get the nice brown. Make that a little bigger. And another layer for the ring. And a layer here for the whites of the eye. Okay, I need to add some more layers. But first, I could combine these. You can do that one of two ways. I can tap the top layer, tap it again, and the fly out comes out, and you'll see second to the last is merge down. Now 11 and 12 are combined into one. If there's a lot of layers like there are here, I can grab the bottom layer and the top layer and pinch them to all together. Whoop. So they've all merged into layer 2. And there's an area there on layer 2 where I had left a line there. I'll color that in. The next step I want to do is the black around the eye, and I want to shape what's going on inside. So I'm going to draw that on top of this drawing. So I'm going to add a layer above. I'm going to pick black again, and I'm going to start and come down here and across and on top. Make sure I've closed that loop. And then I'm going to do the outer definition of the eye, and I'm going to fill that. And I have an area that I missed. I'm going to color that in. And when I zoom out, I have an eye. Again, I can merge down, and then I can name that layer. The top selection in the flyout is rename, and I can call that right eye. And then I can lock it so that I can't mess it up. And I'm going to go over and do the same. Make a bunch of layers, come over and do the same with the left eye. Let's pick this blue, color down. Next layer, I'm going to go with this shade. Drag in the colors. Pupil, so again we need black. Let's see, let's do these. And here I can just color some of these in. Another layer. And I think I'll do one more layer. If you notice, I do not follow the lines very religiously here. I just kind of get close. I want a bit of a motion, movement. Sometimes I'm looking to get certain kinds of shapes, but I just don't like to do the the photo exactly as it is. I want a more artistic, looser version of it. Okay, I think I could do one more layer since I'm over here by this eye. And it's over here. And let's do the light gray. Oops, and there's his left eye. I think that one shadow is pretty intense. So let's pinch all these layers together, and then I can just work on this layer here. I don't like this thing, and I don't even really like that color. So I'm going to go over here. If I move along here, I have pretty much the same value, just in a different, I want to go more gray. Yeah, it's too blue. Okay. All right, so I can rename this one left eye. And I can take out these layers I don't need at the moment. So there, I have two eyes. The one reason I like to do eyes on separate layers too is I often, depending on the image, but I often like to make the eyes just a little bigger than they are. If you put the eyes on one layer and you go to make them larger, not only do the eyes get larger, but so does the space between them. This way, however, I can unlock this eye and unlock that eye. So I select right eye. I go up to the top left-hand side there, and there's this arrow tool. And I could enlarge my eye just a little bit. And I can do the same for the left eye. I can unlock it, select it, and enlarge it just enough. And then I can relock those. And from there, I'm ready to go on. My next step would be, if I was looking at this drawing, it would probably be the nose. So I'm going to add a bunch of layers here and start with the highlights. Oops. Let's just color in that one. And there's a gray. A little darker. And do the gray up here. I'm going to go for the black. Of his nostrils. And I also am going to go ahead and make this line really black, because with the dark of the snout, it wouldn't show up if it was just in grays. So yeah, cool. Then we go into there and see the darker area. The shape. And let's see. Oops, I didn't close my line. Let's zoom in here. Okay, make sure we close that. Okay. Underneath, next lighter shade of gray. And we're going to go up here, his mouth, and back around. Okay. And then we're going to hit this highlight area. I'm just continually going down, selecting layers, roughly filling those layers with colors. And you get pretty quick at it. Doesn't take long. Now, I don't use every single shape I draw. Oh, we need more layers here. Let's go ahead and squish these together. I don't use every layer I draw when I actually quilt. I don't use every line I've made in my pattern when I quilt, when I create the quilts. But if it's there, I can have it if I want it, and then I can always opt to just skip it. We're getting snout-like. Come down under here to the pink. Lighter pink. Oops. Let me get a new layer here. I don't like that line, so I'm going to take that away. Plus, on top of not using every line, I certainly don't use every color. And I think you know I work in grunge. So that means I have to make decisions all the time because often what I've drawn a color for which there is no equivalent in grunge. Okay, I'm going to squish my layers together again and add some more. And we're getting a snout. Come down here. I'm going to grab the pink again. I'm not sure I closed that line, so I'm going to circle back. One more under here. And another pink. And under it, another, well, let's grab it from over here because I know that's black. Another black section. Oops. And a big white area. And I'm going to come down around, Going to make sure I have closed that. Boom. Working top down, it just allows you a lot of freedom of movement in your pen and your drawing. You don't have to worry about being as exact, especially under the, whoops, well, you have to be somewhat exact, especially under the layers, the existing colors. So you come down around here, make sure you've made your loop. Boom. Let's make some more layers. It allows me to get my work done a lot quicker. No, I don't like that. Where am I? Oh, because I have the eyes. I want to move those eyes up. So I'm going to grab the left eye, and I'm going to take it all the way to the top. And I'm going to grab the right eye. I want the eyes on the top, so there we go. All right, now I'm going to go back to this layer. Okay, and there we go. And one more. And let's start combining some of these. Boom. There's that much of the dog. Okay. And come back over here. I'm going to start with this gold, dark brown around his eye. Let's see, this layer. Okay. And again, you can tell I'm not following the drawing anywhere close to exactly. I'm doing what I feel like, which is more fun. Oops, didn't close that one. So let's go up here. Fill in the rest of the dog's face. Oh, shoot, Linda. There we go. And then up here I've made a mess. So this isn't necessary, but I've come to decide that I prefer to see a better drawing than I used to do. The first ones were really, really rough. Because again, all I need is that outline. So I thought, what difference does it make? But it does kind of make a difference to me when I'm working, when I'm building the quilt. I will sit there and put my iPad in front of me with the image on it, and that way I can zoom in, and see an area really big that otherwise I wouldn't have if I'd made a lazy, bad drawing to begin with. Okay, we're almost done with this guy. I'm not going to put any more detail in there than this. Okay, and we're going to do that. Big loop around. I don't like that. That's too much. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3. Oops. I'm taking the eraser here. I can make it big. I don't like that. Oh, it's on another layer. Okay, whatever. So then we're going to squish all these together. I can come down here and color in that line. And I can come back and turn off the layer that has the photo on it. And I can see anywhere I didn't fill in, like here. And I can go and color in that spot. And there's Cleveland. I can put a background color on him. Reds, greens, blue. And once all that's done, I would lock Cleveland. I'd come up to the right eye, the top layer, and add a layer above it. Pick out something bright, close to white. And I can add his whiskers. And we have a puppy dog. Now, let's go back here to the video I didn't turn off, even though I tell you to, and let's hit replay. How cool is that? Ta-da! Okay, the last video I'll show you what I do next.